always good to start with a breath. And another breath. We can manifest anything we want to manifest in this state. Sign baseball cards, sign balls, released balls, anything one wants to create. We want to find our center and be balanced. I, for one, have had quite the experience recently with messing with my balls and my balance. So today's episode will be very calm. There will be no redlining. No redlining. I will manifest peace and serenity for my friend Kevin Zucker. The Zookster is revved up. I'm manifesting winning a poker tournament this evening as well. I feel that, yes. Believe that in your heart. And as we come out of this very brief meditation, I bring us back right now. Kevin, you should take the time to do that. I mean, you're looking at a shirt and shit. Man, wow. I'm not, you're not, what are you doing? Can't hear that. Kevin has manifested an empty bag. Do you have somebody come clean that up for you?
Mom!
I love that. I love that when you do that. How about remove the background music? Yeah. Hey, man. Oh, dude, baseball. I just did that as part of the meditation. Autographed?
What? You're not my mom.
Did you really? Erin, she can't hear me, right? Can she hear me?
What?
Can she hear me?
Can she hear you right now?
Yeah, no, she can't.
Yeah,
right?
she can hear you right now.
Erin, did you really come to Mom? What's going on over in the Zucker house? He wants you to clean up the trash on the floor behind him. He says that's your job, which is, I want to talk about that because that's some bullshit. Yeah, I'm going to support you, Erin. Yeah, so, dude, I said
clean that shit up, Erin.
Manifest. My wife would kick my ass if I did that.
Yeah. She knows you're lying. That's
dude,
why.
Bring in the baseball. What's up with that? Did you see that? Did you hear what I was doing? I manifest a baseball, and it's no, the one behind you. It's a new addition.
This is my baseball. This is an official Major League Baseball.
Yeah, but that's your stress ball. I'm talking about the new addition that's behind your left shoulder
that I got.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
At what's it called? At the ballpark.
Okay. Do you not want to talk about that new addition on your? Let's say hi to a few people. Patrick, what's up, brother?
Hi, yes. Pat. Good to see you, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Look who's back. We got her back again. Anita.
She
thought it was going to be a barf bag. She said.
She was watching you.
Delivery.
Yep. And then Dora, my friend Dora. Dora's still in Las Vegas apparently.
How's Boots?
She's moving. Is that from the cartoon?
Yeah, it's kind of a joke about a Latino cartoon character and their little monkey companion.
And that's Boots is the monkey companion? Oh, yeah.
Hey, so I got this. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and you're kind of making fun of it. But there was a pitcher for the Milwaukee Braves back in the 1950s. They were the Braves. They moved from Boston, and then they moved from Milwaukee to Atlanta, and they are still the Atlanta Braves. I know you don't follow football, so you have no clue what I'm talking about.
It's my joke, man.
So, Warren Spahn was a very, very well-known Major League Baseball pitcher.
From what years?
Great MVP. I think he played.
Doesn't it say it on the card?
Early 50s through like late 60s. I don't know exactly when, but
and the baseball.
And the ball is autographed by Warren Spahn as well. And the card is a 1963 Fleer card. In it looks like to me in perfect condition.
Wow. Is the box sealed?
It isn't. No, it's just this little sort of thing that sits on top. But a really nice friend in Vegas saw me walking around and wearing a Milwaukee Brewers jersey, and he said, "You know what? I have something in my house that I don't need anymore, and I'd love it to go to somebody who loves sports and who's a fan of Milwaukee teams." So he came to our show a couple weeks ago, and he gave it to me as a gift. I thought that was beautiful.
Mr. Wagmeister, yes.
Amazing.
Is he's not from Wisconsin, is he?
He grew up in Illinois, I believe. He spends a lot of time in Milwaukee, especially I think watching those ball games when he was a kid.
What a beautiful gift. Is that where it's going to live?
For now, it's just kind of, my studio's in flux. We're moving into a new space very soon.
Yeah.
And we just signed the lease this last week for a commercial recording studio.
Oh, beautiful.
Going in with another guy who we're going to be opening a semi-commercial room. It's not really going to be open to the public, but it'll be for projects and stuff like that.
It'll be, public is, too many people.
Yeah. So well, no, I'm not going to be like, my days of like making records and that's long gone. I'm going to just use it to Hey,
Murray, celebrity
What's
magician.
up? Hey, Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth Young, I love her so much. But back to me. Listen, did somebody say studio? Did you say? Because I got this thing on. I want to record. You remember the old days of recording comedy albums?
I do.
Okay, so you're done with the music stuff, but do you think maybe you could somehow capture? I mean, I'm from Canada, right? So it's about time that somebody actually.
Murray, you're so subdued today. Normally, you're so edgy and on.
I smoked some weed, so and I did that for a friend of mine. Just because I want to tip a hat. It's not. I don't say it's for everybody, but my body's moving a lot though, and I think it has something to do with Michael's knee that's gyrating all the time. Anyway, Murray Sawchuk here. So, could we do an album in your studio, your new commercial space with this partner guy of yours? Michael won't do it in his plus his Amateurville anyway. So, do you think maybe I could come do a magic trick for Max again and show him a trick, and then you give me some free recording time, and I'll do a celebrity magician comedy album?
Anything for you, Murray. I love you.
You're the best. You're the best. Fuck off, Michael. All right, you guys have a good day. Murray Sawchuk, celebrity magician. All right, bye. Oh, come see me at the Stratosphere. Okay, bye. I don't think he came and visited us last week.
It was an episode about you last week, right?
Well, it was on heroin, right?
We were talking all about you and your recovery from your knee injury. Speaking of which, how are you feeling today?
Aren't they all about me? Don't I somehow figure out a way to make each?
Yeah, we make them somehow. They all go back to you. Yeah, that's
well. True. You said the last week was about. I just want to clarify that piece.
I was trying not to paint you in the light that you paint yourself in. So tell me, like, how are you feeling? How 2 weeks post, right? Like this is week 2.
The surgery was on the 9th,
right?
I was in PT on the 11th, and then the following week I did 3 days, and then I did one yesterday, and over the weekend and the days in between, I've been doing all the exercises 3 days a week, and you know what, man? That is the magic trick. Even though the body and the mind says, no, that hurts, don't do that, the key is walking through the pain, and I would like to say that's about emotional, too, and I'm going to show you something. You ready for this?
You're wearing no brace today, my friend.
The brace is on the ground here, but watch this. Ready? Holy shit. Look at that. Oh, yeah. So, other than losing 30% of my muscle mass on that leg because of, what's it called when you
atrophy?
Atrophy. But I had the post-op today, and she said to me, she says, you're healing like a 20-year-old.
You were at the post office today?
My post-op. Yeah, the lady at the post office goes, "Why, you're healing like a 20-year-old?" No, the assistant of the surgeon, Megan, she said you're healing like a 20-year-old because she took the bandages off and looked at the sutures and everything. Not your kind of suture, not the suture, but the sutures. And she said you're healing like a 20-year-old, and that's a good sign because if you're healing this way on the outside, that means you're healing this way on the inside.
Now, if you could only screw like a 20-year-old, you'd be back in business.
It's funny you say that because I had that thought. My dad also had the exact rebuttal that you just had.
How does that wind up that Lenny and I are on the same wavelength?
Well, me too, because I thought that, but I used my filter and thought it would be inappropriate, and I need these people on my team, and I don't want to offend her, but I did think that, though. Yeah, too bad I couldn't screw like a 20-year-old. So thanks for asking.
I got a date tomorrow. Thanks for asking.
I'm not there yet. Wait. I don't want to hear about the colonoscopy yet.
That's not what it is.
Oh, did you already do your colonoscopy appointment?
No, tomorrow's my colonoscopy, my first appointment.
The pre. Okay, cool. And then you're going to schedule it right away.
Probably will take a date tomorrow if they want to do it right there in the office.
No, they won't do it.
I'll myself out tonight just to make sure if they want to shove a tube up my sphincter.
Doesn't work that way.
I'm all nice and clean for them tomorrow.
Yeah. You told last week you said you weren't going to do the prep. You were going to actually go and get your money's worth.
I didn't do the prep.
No, they wouldn't, but I thought you might want to. You know what? You can lead a horse to water, but they got to drink. I want you to have your own experience. I'm not going to talk you out of it. I just let you know that they're not going to do that. If you, the minute they put that thing in there, you
cleaned out is what I'm saying. If I dump off the table, how do they know that it's not clean all the way through?
You know what's going to be the greatest part, though? You're going to drop about 10 pounds in this experience. It's kind of a nice benefit, and you look a little trimmer. I didn't notice. Our guest today pointed it out pre-show, and I'm sorry I didn't notice. But what are you doing to become slimmer?
I swallowed a bunch of balloons of amphetamines, and they've kept me full for like.
For muling? You're muling now?
I'm muling from the north side of Las Vegas to the southwest side of Las Vegas.
I could have used that methamphetamine with the heroin I was on last week.
It makes it harder for me as I'm taking a horse. So it makes it a lot slower. And it also makes it a little more obvious that I'm muling. Yeah.
So are you nervous about, I mean, you're not there yet. After the appointment, you should feel better, but are you no reservation? No.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is not my favorite thing to do, is to make doctor's appointments.
Yeah, for a lot of people. Yeah.
And I'll go tomorrow because it's just a conversation, and then the reality will set in. When I make the appointment, and I know I have to go through it. So, and I know I've asked our audience if they'd like to go through it with me. And tomorrow, part of the conversation piece with my GI doc is to say, can I broadcast the podcast live from my colonoscopy?
What's up, Stevie? Just wanted to shout out and say hi to you, buddy. All right, back to you. So they're not going to allow that, but they do have the footage, though. You could probably get the footage and we could show it. We put together in post if you want. Hey, do you want to do that bet that we have? Good. So we're kind of prepping up for this, though.
Why don't we ask the audience if they want us to do this bet?
Okay, let's reiterate the bet.
And people... There's a couple people watching right now, and if you want, you tell them what the bet is. We've never discussed this publicly.
Oh, that's not true. We did it on a podcast, but we were because Kevin and I are we won't admit to it, but we're a little bit competitive, and it came up somehow, some way that he's got more swimmers than me. So I said, well, why don't we actually let's film, let's go into wherever you go to test that stuff. I've never tested my swimmers. So have you tested your swimmers? Because maybe you have an edge. Okay,
no,
so you're in the dark.
I don't think I've needed to do that. No.
Okay, just because there's a lot of volume doesn't mean there's a lot of swimmers in there, buddy. Just so you know. But in any case, the bet is the winner is going to donate $500 to a local charity of their choice. And I'm sorry, the loser, the winner doesn't donate. But whoever has more swimmers, right, in the cup, I guess you could. The other person, the least amount of swimmers has to donate $500 to a local charity here. And we haven't been so good about the donation piece directly. We had somebody else.
We missed something on the painting. There was somebody that we screwed up sending the painting to.
Major fucker.
Right? They made a donation.
She donated. She did the donation.
Branch for children.
She did. Out of the generosity of her heart.
They were supposed to get the paintings.
And we forgot about it. It was like last year, and Kevin and I were made aware of this recently. And we tried to say, well, we're so sorry, we'll send it now. And she's like, not a chance. You can. I think you get in trouble for that. That's you could go there first. Oh, you know what? No cheating. Do not go to Sapphire prior to the appointment.
Look at Brian. He says, you guys seem bored. Why? Because we're not like choking each other out right now. But what's going on? Why does
he's trying to wrap us up? Okay. Brian, what's up, buddy?
Anita had enough of it. She
gotta run.
Conversation.
Started talking about swimmers, and she's out. Yeah, gotta run. Maybe we should shorten these podcasts.
Okay. Good seeing you today.
Are you cool? Are you cool with that, though? I mean, do we want to do that? And maybe we could film going in.
Seems a little out of character for me.
I think you're the one that made the proclamation that you have better swimmers. You did a fuck up? Yeah, we did. We screwed up, Elizabeth. This woman donated. We'll leave her name out, but she.
Yeah, we fucked up, Elizabeth.
We did the paintings, and the idea was we would auction off the paintings, and the money would go to St. Jude's Ranch for Children. This generous woman made the donation to St. Jude's Ranch for Children, and we never sent her the painting.
Well, in a little bit of a, I'm not saying we didn't fuck up, but there was no follow up of an address.
Yeah.
Send it.
Or which painting? Did you know it was your painting?
Which painting? I think
Maybe
she wanted a better one. She wanted mine.
She wanted the butterfly. Yours was clearly better than mine, dude. No question.
Well, come on. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, you're a far superior artist, though.
Those who paint those who don't teach.
Yeah, no, I just do impersonations of Murray on a paintbrush. It's the best I could get. All right, it's disappearing it. So, well, listen, good for you in being.
So Froggy says Shapiro for the swimmer win. Kevin is always too stressed. Swimmers hate stress.
Yeah, well, not to mention, I think you go into a room and maybe they give you have a choice of some porn, maybe, and you're jerking off into a cup. Let's call it what it is, and that seems like some stress there. And then everybody knows what you're doing in that room.
Listen,
I
don't think I can even hit the cup. Let's keep it real.
Do you? Let's get personal. Do you masturbate to porn?
Dude, I don't think I've done that since I was like 12.
No, seriously. Every man masturbates. And women.
I have an incredible wife.
It's not about that. It's about
for me. I don't need
okay,
that.
so you don't masturbate.
No. God,
you just go, Mom, and she comes running. Whoa.
It's so great if Joe Lay would have walked in the room right there. That would have been hilarious.
Right, with a cute little outfit on. No, it doesn't work that way in the Shapiro household.
Yeah.
So you're going on record saying you don't masturbate anymore? You never masturbate? Okay.
Correct.
So let the record show that Kevin Zucker on today what's the day today?
Sprocky says, how do I get in on the contest? I've been training for this forever.
Yeah, no fluffing. Got to go in cold and make it happen.
That's funny.
I'm surprised. I masturbate. Everybody chime in. Who on this? Who in the comments doesn't masturbate? Really?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I can't sleep at night, even I might.
Yeah.
To relax. What?
I watch a movie if I.
This is after the third movie of 3 a.m. and I just need to relax, and so I just we can knock that out in about 7 seconds, and I'm done, and I'm sleeping. Wow. Do you have shame around masturbation? Did somebody shame you when you were young?
Not at all.
Oh, so it's so weird that you don't.
No, I think I outgrow it when you're like 14, 15.
Speaking of masturbation, I think that we should bring our guest in, and he's also going to help with something too, because there's a point I want to go back to that I alluded to last week, and that's talking about pain. It's talking about the survival coping mechanism that we have embedded in us to avoid pain. When something hurts, go the other way. Our brain will protect us. Jesus, too much info, Shapiro. Really, Elizabeth? Don't be so square. Anyway, talking about pain. So our body tells us we got pain, we avoid it, right? Wow. What's the last part of that?
He's not typing because he's doing it.
He's funny. Yeah, you're praying. You're praying. This is a badge of honor. So I'm yeah, okay. Well, that doesn't mean, and how many years ago was that? A lot changes. He's been under a lot of stress.
Ears are burning. Barbara Brighton's ears are burning listening to this conversation.
Kevin, you have, and to Aaron's point, you have been under a lot of stress since you took the risk and the incredible.
Look at me. The face of a guy under stress right now.
Yeah, because you stuff that shit. You stuff it.
No stress.
Oh man, you're so disconnected from your Brian. Here we go. Brian Towers, this is for you. You were so disconnected from reality, brother, and you were just like a glossed over. It's like you're a walking Zoloft commercial. I mean,
nice.
What is going on for you, bro? You're telling me that it wasn't stressful coming to Vegas, opening up a residency, doing that whole deal?
I loved it. No stress at all. None.
Oh, really? And what about? Didn't you produce it as well?
I love it. I'm good at that. That's what I do, right?
So that was profitable for you. That was a slam dunk.
Profitable to be something I love doing.
So you don't stress financially when you're watching as a producer and you're financing a show. Not the artist. I get the artist part. But you're producing a show. You're promoting a show. All that's on you. And I know when you get the lights hit you and you play the first note, forget about it. It's amazing. But all the week to week and pushing the sales and watching the bank account, the capital investment that was made by the producer, which is you, watching that go the other way is not stress? How do you cope with it? Share with us. Enlighten the audience on how you cope with financial just complete destruction.
Thankfully, there was not complete financial destruction, right? Like there wasn't that. So we lost a lot of money, right? We clearly lost a lot of money.
It was a big risk. You took it. You had some balls, man. You know, I relate to it.
We decided to bet on ourselves, right?
Best one to bet on.
Money on the pass line on
Yeah.
the Docksiders.
Yeah.
And it was, it was a, I don't even want to say it was calculated, because we were kind of lied to and all that sort of stuff.
Some naivety in the business too, not having experience.
Not just naivety, just not a lot of transparency in the deal, right?
Well, do you know entertainment that has a lot of transparency? Somebody's getting fucked.
Yeah, I've done a lot of business with a lot of transparency, and that's the way you get a lot of things done.
You do, but in the business in general, there's
this is not my first dance, right? I've been around for a long time, and I've done a lot of really big business with a lot bigger people that didn't pretend that they were something they weren't. So yeah, I've done business, smartly with a lot of people that also come to the table smartly as well, but that doesn't change the fact that, I couldn't change the outcome. I don't think, anybody would have changed the outcome. The same thing would happen to the, band C, D, E, F, or G that took the position that we took. They were going to lose the same amount, if not more or less, depending on their tolerance and their risk for letting it go. But I think where I'm in a different kind of place is that I really try to practice a lot of like, what will be, will be. And I think because I live my life day to day thinking, what is meant to be, I don't get crank. I get more aggravated at the fact that that there was some deceit involved. That's what aggravates me.
That's trust, loyalty, and trust
comes from. But
so there was stress then.
But of course, listen, okay. It's not like humming at peaking at 100 all the time. It's it's tolerable to me.
Let me clean this up. You're right, Elizabeth. I'm sorry. You're not a square. You're the furthest thing from a square ever. You're like a triple times pi octagon. I love you, and I retract.
All right,
we've
got a guest that's been sitting here for 27 and a half minutes.
Fuck him.
Are we moving on without him on this particular?
Okay, yeah, but he has some experience with the medical situation where he can talk about walking through the pain. When it comes to physical pain, what I've learned is do the physical therapy. Whatever it is, muscle through it and do it. I found a correlation with emotional pain and going and looking at the past and bringing up stuff that we thought we resolved, but really bringing it up and be willing to feel a little bit of uncomfortableness, pain, if you will, and walking through it. Because when you get to the other side, the rewards are immeasurable. And it's so... Did I mumble that? Immeasurable. And I just wanted to make that point before we bring on this amazing guest who made a proclamation on social media recently. Was the reason why you wanted to bring him in. Why don't you take over now?
Yes. This gentleman is very, very well known in and around the Las Vegas area, and everybody knows him for his outgoing opinions related to anything entertainment or popular culture, and regular readers of his column have noticed a mild shift in the direction of his very famous Vegas Unfiltered column at Vegas 411. He said there's already so much nastiness and controversy in the world that he's decided to focus more on the wonderful people and charitable events that make Las Vegas a big little city. Ladies and gentlemen, our favorite Mr. Sam Novak is with us today.
Hi, Sam.
Hold on a minute. You have some guests?
I call total bullshit. Sam doesn't know how to be anything other than critical. He's a motherfucker, and that's just how it is. And he's gonna pull the ultimate magic trick if he can pull this off. Okay, Marie Sawchuk, celebrity magician out.
I want to know how you make the mouth on that thing move.
You should see how much we have to pay to Murray every week to just use him.
Sam, you need tips on how to make the mouth move?
When it comes to rigid objects, perhaps.
Dude, thank you for buttoning up the extra button on the shirt. Because
not going to happen.
Does that shirt actually fit? Does it fit? You could button it?
No, not really.
You know what? You can tell the girth of a guy by the size of the cock ring he wears on his neck. Mine is really little, right? Like this.
Wow,
mine's really little. See, it's tiny.
You're totally going to scare away Barbara and Elizabeth if you keep up this train of thought.
Or bring them in closer, Sam. You never know.
I don't have any problems bringing Barbara closer.
Let me ask you this: Do you masturbate, Sam?
Wow. Odd question. Why would be?
It's not an odd question. We were just talking about it.
It should be. I would expect how often.
Oh, because it's a yes, right? Of course. I don't even need to know how often, but you do. Okay,
You have a punch card?
Huh?
You have a punch card?
It's one of those online things. Every time I can scan,
you get a free coffee.
Yeah,
free coffee. Well, I just my theory is everybody pretty much does. You know, I think. Sorry, Elizabeth, I couldn't help it. I just wanted to know because I don't believe that Kevin doesn't masturbate. He's lying.
I don't.
You believe
I
that
had
shit?
no idea that this was going to draw me into the conversation.
Back to this spiritual change that you've. What brought this on, other than what you said in the post about the world is full of all this toxicity, and you want to add something different to it?
Well, I think what happened was that it took place on its own. I didn't even realize that was what I had been doing until I was looking back at all my recent articles. And I can pull them up on our platform and show, from the most recent downward. And it seemed like everything was a profile of somebody that I had just met and wanted to highlight, or a charitable event of some sort. And it was just like one after the other after the other. There were very few reviews. Well, actually, I haven't done any reviews in a long time. No scandals, no rants. And
no Britney Spears?
You had to, huh? Yeah.
Well, only because you just realized it recently. But what? Mom! So when I first read you writing about Britney Spears, I said to you, do you remember what I said to you?
You said it's so mean, dude. You're so mean.
Mean about it, because you can be one can be critical about something, and you're a brilliant writer. You're excellent in the way you express things. Your choice to go mean about the facts of it. That's all I was bringing up.
Well, you saw it as mean. What I saw it was pulling the Band-Aid off the bullshit, because when somebody constantly plays victim and they're nothing but the victim, somebody should step in and say, knock off this shit and get real. We all know what you're about.
What can you do that and not necessarily be mean about that?
How about if I dance around naked in my living room holding knives and looking like I haven't had a bath in 3 months? Would that
I think you'd probably have a big boost to your career if you did that.
I got all the boosting I need.
So this was an epiphany for you. You went back and you reviewed some of your writing, and you feel
it was an epiphany about something that had already taken place, and I stepped back and thought to myself, why would this be the case? And you could look at it a number of different ways. It seemed like, for some reason, a lot of people have been coming into my life, into my path, being introduced to me by others that I should know for some reason, some cosmic interference. I don't know. It was just like I've been meeting a lot of really, really good people, and we need that right now. And I wake up in the morning, grab my coffee, and look at the news headlines and realize this is not the way I want to start my day. So I'm stepping away from it more and more and going into writing about the next great person that I've just become acquainted with. And that's making me feel a lot better.
So how you were feeling inside. I mean, one of the nice things, and I think a lot of people will agree with this, is that one of the things about your writing, though mean at times, is that people appreciate that part of you that will call out the shit. Kevin, I mean, do you agree with that?
Listen, there's a lot to be said about somebody in the public that doesn't sugarcoat things, right? Like, I remember before I had met Sam, when I had moved to town, I don't remember who it was. It was probably someone over in the old days of the Rio world where I was, that said, watch out for that guy. He'll tell it like it is. And that never startled me. It never made me feel nervous around Sam when I met him. It just made me think, wow, this guy doesn't sugarcoat shit, and he says things the way he feels it. And, it's very refreshing, right? I think, I agree with you, Sam. I think we as a culture walk around sugarcoating a lot of stuff. There's a reason why kids, and my children, when they were growing up, everybody got a medal when they finished the race. It wasn't like the old days where if you didn't place in first, second, or third, you lost, and you had to learn how to deal with not being good enough to get to a medal round or whatever it is. I think that we're just in a different society now where everybody is just so gentle with each other that it just becomes it becomes normal. I also think that there's a way to do it that's also humane. And you might say something is mean, Michael, but maybe it's coming from a place of humanity as well too. Like I think there's a way to be critical, but not being, ugly about it. But there's nothing wrong with being ugly when you're calling some bullshit out too, right?
Well, that's the thing, Sam. It's that's why I asked you about the Britney Spears early on. But I've had a couple of venue owners like what's with this Sam Novak guy? And look, if you go into a shitty theater and your experience as a patron, and you want to say something about it, maybe if they're a good business operator, they're going to make some changes because it's a complaint. You have an outlet that a lot of people read. So my question to you is, how do you make this change? But not at the expense of that critical side of yourself that's important. We all like that. We want to know about those things when there's a wrong being done.
Well, it's kind of a burden in some respects to be totally honest and have people resent you for it, because if you don't have anything to hide and you're doing right for your customers, for your clients, for your employees, for your art, why would you have any concerns about someone being honest around you?
It's a good point.
Listen, how many times
if somebody's saying watch out for Sam Novak, what are they hiding?
How many times today alone did I want to be honest with somebody when I chose not to? There's probably 2 or 3 times that I wish I could have just not held my tongue. But I think, at the end of the day, I'm always kind of like judging, is it worth it? Does it matter if I say it?
What's interesting to me, though, is that
what I would like to say?
I could have one outspoken moment that most people will latch onto, and they somehow don't bring up the fact that I have written articles that have generated money for charities, that have allowed people to remain in the United States when they're taking articles that I've written to the judges, to have their work visas renewed. People
what you do for the animal community, like who you are as a person. They take the one thing out of it. That's our society today. It's right. It happens all the time.
And that's where sensationalism comes into play, and it does have an effect. But by the same token, if you're dwelling on that, it might go the other direction. I don't want to be known as the guy that you need to watch out for, because I want to be someone who can help. I spend a great deal of my life without asking for any kind of attention, helping other people. I am glad to say, that's a great new artist. I want to write about them. I hope they get a great gig or a recording contract or whatever. But
that's a good comment from Patrick right there, I think.
Critical thinking versus criticism. It's true.
Yeah.
Right, Patrick.
That's the meanness I was talking about.
Barbara, listen to her.
Sam, you love Sam, as we do.
Yeah,
I just know that I'm always come from a place of good intentions, and if I've got to get a little loud sometime or a little bit emphatic to get my point across, then I don't want to be damned for it, because I think that sometimes, even though the whisper gets heard the most, sometimes you do have to shout above the crowd. And when I'm surrounded by a bunch of people lying, I got something to say.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, we do.
Part of it. Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie.
Film. It's a horror film.
No, it's not a horror film. It's
bullshit. I call bullshit.
No, it is. I'm just asking him.
We talked about this today. I think the greatest movie ever made for this audience member is called Cloud Atlas.
Oh.
It's
abstract.
I started watching it today.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I took a little nap in it.
You've never seen it? Well, you take naps in every movie. That's not a good measure. That's just your thing. But it's a fabulous movie, but it is abstract. It's out there.
I thought you were going to watch it undistracted, Kevin.
I did.
Methamphetamine.
As soon as I walked in the door, I put it on and started watching it, and then I woke up going, okay, I shouldn't have gotten up at 3:30 this morning and tried to sit and watch a 3-hour movie. So I'm going to wait, and I'm going to start it over again and watch it again. Yeah.
Please watch it from the beginning. Shut off the phones, put the laptop away, put the dog to bed.
You can watch it a couple times, actually.
Michael, what's your favorite movie?
I got a lot of them, but I did watch The Brutalist, Jolie and I did the other day. I didn't know it was a 3-hour and 15-minute movie.
Did you like that film?
I did. I thought it's heavy, man. And
heavy, very dry, boring ass film. Okay, but you
I
like
didn't.
that, right?
I didn't find it boring. It's intellectual. So I mean, it's deep. It's a deep
Yeah.
movie.
I thought it was a little shy of 4 hours.
I think it was 3:15.
Three-ish.
I mean, there's an intermission. You're streaming it, and there's like an intermission. I'm like, what is this? Is this a joke, honey? She's like, no, I think that's when people get up in the theater. I'm like, I can't pee in 60 seconds. Was it longer in the theater? I don't think so.
I
don't
didn't
know.
see it. I have yet to see it, but I was told by somebody who had seen it that there's a 15-minute built-in intermission within the film.
So streaming it, they cut it down to 60 seconds then, because you can pause it. It seems silly they even kept it in at all. To be
Well,
honest.
the intent of the director, as I read it, was they wanted you to see it as a continuation, two separate chunks.
Kind of like Follies at Aliante. That was long, man. But I'm glad I got through that intermission because I felt like it was complete. It was not complete, and the back end of it actually was more. And you were very critical about that presentation, right? Or did you not?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, I thought you were.
It wasn't so much the presentation as how it actually made it to the stage that I was writing about.
Oh, okay. I don't know about the backstory. That part of it, I don't remember. I don't tend to.
Interesting. You thought I was critical about the production, but you never even read the article.
No, I did read the article. It's just been a long time, and I have a limited capacity in my brain, and I got to make room for stuff, man. That's all.
Well, I understand you've gotten a lot older. Yeah.
I do remember now a little bit more about what you wrote about.
Okay. I think the production was pretty damn bold. It didn't win me over.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's really right for contemporary audiences today. It's really dated, and I was bored. I mean, great performances in there and a lot of vision, but I would have loved to have seen a modernized version.
Christine Chebec killed it.
She did.
Christine was so happy in that role.
It was the beginning part. I felt what you just said, but then as I stuck it out, like the second half to me, it was better. It was better. Overall, I enjoyed it. It's art, so everybody's a little bit different, My favorite movie, okay, here's a tough question. You can only have one movie. You're on a desert island. What is it? So, what movie is it? Is it Cloud Atlas for you, Sam?
It would be because there's so much that anytime you watch it, you're going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah, there are several movies that anytime they're on, and this is a little superficial thing, but I love Boogie Nights. I love Forrest Gump. I love Goodfellas, Casino. Like those are movies that I'll watch again and again. I'll come in the middle of them.
This wasn't list your top 5 favorite.
Shawshank
movies.
Redemption. This is a hard question.
What is the one movie? Like, boil it down to one film. What is it?
I don't like this game.
Bambi.
I got a little friend over here. I didn't even realize.
I see that.
Is it
What's
Bambi?
new, Pussycat? Whoa! What's yours, Kevin? You're so bold about. What's yours? One movie.
Mine has been the same. Elizabeth D'Agost's Xanadu, the best soundtrack, but the worst fucking film on the planet.
Get those skates out, Elizabeth.
Right? Exactly. I've had my movie's been a favorite movie since I was a kid, and it's never changed. There is not a better film than
The Natural.
Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
What?
Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
And that's the one you'd want to watch over and over and over and over.
I know every line in it. I know every word in it. It is my favorite movie.
No wonder you enjoyed Hundreds of Beavers. They're kind of in the same mind frame.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a great art form. It's sad to know that these theaters are.
So you still haven't dithered your one movie down. You can't, can you?
If I had to do one,
man,
it's hard. You know what? It's probably I have to.
I don't think we'd ever get there with him.
I would say Forrest Gump probably.
Forrest Gump.
It covers a lot.
Yeah.
It's so well done. And
I think it's interesting that every one of our choices, except for Kevin's, and the multiples that you threw out there, they're all very lengthy, artistic, stylized films.
Length is good if it's the only one you're going to be able to watch every day.
Here's one I'll throw at you. If you consider all 3 of the Lord of the Rings movies as one, because it really is one tale.
Yeah.
And you go to the expanded version of that, you got 12 hours out of your day.
Do they have one version of it where it's the whole thing?
No,
but you gotta watch a bunch of dirty New Zealanders. I'm not into that kind of concept.
Oh, no.
Once a year, they run a marathon of all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's once a year too many.
Is Denise not on today? She's not on from New Zealand. Is that why you said that?
I was saying that for her.
She hasn't checked in. Yeah.
Sam, I'm also the one that believes that we have one Dakota too many in the United States. That they need to get rid of either South or North Dakota and just make it one fucking Dakota. That's
You're
all.
not into volume, huh?
Barbara Brighton has an interesting one too. It's also a very good movie and an excellent book. Is The Firm? I read it first. That's a pretty good movie too. Also, what about Devil's Advocate? That's another good one.
Robert Crichton, Stephen Crichton, Michael.
Crichton. Oh yeah, Crichton. Right.
Michael Crichton.
Great.
Michael Crichton.
Michael. So
Timmy
it's
Crichton.
so can you confirm something for me, Sam? You go to you still go to the theater a lot. That's the way.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up going to tonight after I get off with you guys. Yeah.
So
wait a minute, that sounded wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, rephrase that, especially with all the masturbation talk earlier.
I think I'm gonna go back and see Sinners again.
What is that one?
What is Sinners?
Yeah,
it's only the #1 movie in America.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And is it a horror film?
Kind of. It is a kind of a crime drama. It's very much in the vein of From Dusk Till Dawn. These two twin brothers are fleeing the gangster era of Chicago, going into the deep South where they grew up with a whole lot of money, and they're going to buy this building out in the Delta.
Okay, no more than the preview. Don't keep going down that road.
It has a major twist in the second half.
Okay, I didn't know about that movie. That just made me think of something. You said Dusk Till Dawn. What about Pulp Fiction? Another great film.
I never got into it. I think it's wonderfully creative and entertaining, but a little pretentious.
Yeah, somehow. Well, okay, so let's go back to the movie theater thing. So you're noticing it breaks my heart. You know, Jolie and I do go to the theater. We like to see movies that way, but like they're just not. They're
never recovered after COVID, did it?
Nope. It accelerated their death.
Yep.
So what are they just going to go away, or what's going to happen?
Well, most of them aren't maintaining their facilities. They're going down to the bare bones. They're raising prices on all the snacks, but they're getting by on these subscription services that they sell, I think.
Let's be honest though too. Consumers have changed, right? Like, and this is the downfall of the music industry. The music industry was not smart enough to realize that consumers did not want to go to a record store anymore. Weirdos like I did. I wanted to still do product.
Sam too. Right? Sam goes.
Right? I'm just saying, but the consuming of the art is changed.
It's changed,
and people want to sit at home and they don't want to have to go out. I completely disagree that with the same idea that you lose where you're supposed to go to a theater to see the way that the movie was intended to be seen in
sound and
the theater, right? Yeah. Away from distraction of like, I can pause it and go clean up the cat piss on the side of the Rio, right? Like, you don't have to do that. You have to stay there and watch.
You know what, Sam? I want to shut him down though. This is the guy that falls asleep in movies.
Yeah, he did not fall asleep when we saw Wicked though, because I took him at a theater that was equipped with the motion seats and the wind and the water and the rain and the smells. It shook him awake for 2.5 hours. I puked. He had to hold on with both hands.
It was like a 3-hour ride at Universal Studios that I wanted to vomit on every 18 seconds.
I've yet to do that. I've go to that theater.
That is one of the ways that movie theaters are going to survive. By equipping them with new tech.
Yeah, it has to be interactive. Yep. Did you guys do back a while? I think it was before COVID. They had at the Venetian at the canal shops. They had that virtual reality experience. Did you guys get a chance?
All over the place. Those are nausea inducing, and they're not full theatrical films. They cut.
They're short. As far as an experience goes, the one I went to was Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars guy, but not like a huge fan of it. But it was so intense for 15 minutes. I was blown away. And I thought that is the future of experiential movies, or if you could kind of put that together.
Well, they need to start adding that concept to more places. Right now, we only have that one at Red Rock.
At Red Rock, right. I do like Galaxy in Henderson. The recliners, they seem like they keep it up.
I saw Wicked there with you too.
You saw Wicked how many times, Kevin?
I saw Wicked 4 times. I've seen it 6 times because I watch it twice here at the house now too.
A lot of Lavender.
I was going to say, you know how you're gay, right? A lot of wicked baby. A lot of wicked baby. Come on now. Come on. That's so you see theaters adapting and figuring it out before they shutter?
Yeah, they're not going to all shutter. There's going to be reasons for them to stick around. Yeah, and when a big blockbuster comes out, that keeps the place going. You know, every time Marvel throws out something, you know, they can be pretty secure for a while.
Yeah.
Sinners is pulling people into theaters right now. It was filmed for IMAX. So because it's got like almost perfect reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got great buzz. It's a reason to see something on a big screen, and it's pulling people.
All right,
I don't buy into that Rotten Tomatoes score.
You can't.
I don't like it because it's like.
What's the other one with the popcorn spilled? What service is that? The rating service. There's two. You know, you see them.
Well.
No,
you've got the popcorn meter, which is the viewer take on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay. Because I've seen it where Rotten Tomatoes has got a good rating and the popcorn spilled, and I love the film. And I've seen it the other way around too, and I love the film.
One is professional critics and one is audience take on it.
Okay, good to know that.
When
I didn't know
both
that.
Way high up there, you know you got yourself a kick-ass film.
Huh. Some of the greatest films I've discovered, though, had shitty ratings. Like I can't think of any right now. But just at home, like going through streaming services.
Yeah, you're right about the fact that uniform critic praise doesn't make anything good because they generally tend to like a certain type of movie. And most critics go to film schools. You know, they're raised on being taught to like a certain type of film, and if it doesn't tick off a bunch of boxes, it's crap. You know.
What about Catch Me If You Can?
It was fun. It was unforgettable.
Aviator?
Spielberg.
Oh.
You're stuck on that whole stretch of Spielberg movies, right? Aviator wasn't Spielberg, though. That was just another... what's his face?
There's a Spielberg movie that didn't get a lot of praise that is one of my favorites of his.
One about his story?
Called Munich.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I didn't see, but it was heavy going, I know.
Very heavy movie. I really am a fan of that film.
I'm bored of the movie talk.
Released on Christmas Day, if I recall, which I thought was really a strange thing to do. I'm
done with you guys.
All right.
The worst Spielberg movie of all time, The Fabelmans.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about. I didn't mind that movie.
God, I hated that movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, it didn't. The seats didn't shake. That's for sure.
But my eyelids did when I kept on to fall asleep.
What's
So
Elizabeth
we were going to
saying?
talk about pain, huh?
Yeah, I want to talk about pain. Thanks for circling back on that. Great to watch movie theater, and everybody reacts. Yeah, communion. Yeah, communal experience. Sure. Yeah, she's right. I agree with that. Sam, you agree with that?
Absolutely. That's why I kept telling you guys to go see The Substance in a movie theater with a crowd.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we went to the 4D movie, and
so she's coming back the other way. Go ahead.
We went to the 4D movie and saw that new Jack Black film called Minecraft because we had the 10-year-old with us. It was actually really funny. It was really well written, and it was funny. And you're expecting Jack Black to do his Jack Black shit, but do you know who was really good in the film and played a role that was quite hilarious? Fabio.
Oh.
Huh. The real Fabio.
Sleeper.
No, who's that muscle guy? Who's Aquaman?
Jason Momoa.
Fabio.
Yeah,
not Fabio, man. Why you gotta
Jason
say that?
Momoa was funny as shit in that film. It was
great comedy.
Again, I got up and left and went and sat at the poker table while they watched the movie because I puked.
Wow. Okay.
And
transition.
You got sick from that one?
It was horrible.
Transition to pain. Okay, we're gonna go back to the pain.
All right.
So you're no stranger to pain, Sam. And we're talking about physical pain, right?
Physical pain, no. I've had my share of accidents and stuff.
And so after accidents, there's a lot of not physical therapy, but continued maintenance, recovery,
surgery, yeah.
And you continue to go into that pain, knowing once you have one treatment on something, it hurts like a motherfucker. You're gonna go back and do it again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so how do you have to get to a certain state of mind of go walk in and do that stuff?
Well, it's kind of a balance between health and vanity, finances and practicality, I suppose.
So a lot of people don't know that you were in an accident. Mm-hmm. And do you want to describe what happened in that accident?
Yeah, it was a bicycling accident when I was a teenager, and there was a collision with a truck. and it was a high impact thing on my face, and my face came detached from my skull. So it was, even though I was 16, I'm still having effects from it. I had to have a lot of surgeries, having my jaw realigned, my teeth redone, resurfaced, straightened. I had to have surgeries on my airway in my throat and my nose. And the biggest issue I have now, after all that stuff has been done, is the elasticity of my skin, because it was literally separated from my face. I use the comparison of dropping a watermelon and knowing how that just kind of when it lands on the floor. That's what your human head will do in certain circumstances, and that's what happened to me. So everything was sewed in from the inside of my mouth, but that just held it here, and all of this was still really loose. It was kind of a freak accident, and I was in a small town emergency room, so they did their best to figure out what the hell am I going to do with this patient. And that was X number of years ago, and now you can see I've got a very jolly face. Thank goodness I don't have any external scars, because everything was inside. Yeah. But it's I have to have a lot of things done to have it pulled inward. I guess it's kind of like the equivalent of a facelift on a person who's starting to get saggy, but it's just kind of the same types of treatment, I suppose, but with a different reason.
You're a miracle, Sam. Elizabeth says. So that puts things in perspective, right? I mean, what I went through with the knee was traumatizing for me. You went in the pain department, exactly. Well, no, Brian had emergency open heart surgery, right? They cracked the chest.
Brian's been going through a hell of an ordeal lately.
And Kevin, a month or so ago, had a head on a scooter with somebody that could have ended up like that, Kevin. I mean, shit. So
he was incredibly lucky, knowing the circumstances were so similar.
How resilient are human beings?
Well, it all depends on our inner will, I suppose. We've got the ability to psychologically and physically heal, and as long as we understand that we've got a reason to do that, it pulls us through.
I just believe that you got to go through the pain to get to take an accident or take a mistake or take a failure, if you will, and convert it to a growth moment and become more than you were before afflicted with whatever issue it was. And it takes a lot of work. Well, that's your opinion, and I don't, and that's and that's why you have a baseball on your fucking desk, right? And that's the difference between you and I, Kevin Zucker.
There's a quote from a movie: "Life is pain, beauty is pain, death is pain."
Ooh, it sounds so optimistically inspiring.
Well, the character uttering it was the adult Damien Thorne from the Omen trilogy.
Oh, that's dark. Yeah,
I have another quote from a movie: "Only a man whose ass is narrow can get the knife."
Is that from a movie?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy, The Golden Child, 1986.
What's the one about you can't handle the truth?
That was A Few Good Men.
Okay. We go on and on about movies.
We're talking about that movie, and earlier today we were talking about The Toy with Richard Pryor.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, we watched that movie last night with the family. We thought it would be a great way to, watch movies that should never have been made.
Should never. Did you watch the thing that I sent you? Afterwards?
Should never have been made. Just that it wouldn't be made now.
Right? Oh yeah. Daddy, I want to buy the black man. Yeah, that probably should never have been made, Michael.
That was the Song of the South of 1982.
It's comedy, though, you guys. I mean, it's to me, it's like. Look, people have been through a lot of stuff, and that could be very triggering or whatever you want to call it for a person. And it doesn't. There's a lot of wrongs that have been done, and not just to black people, but to Jews, to Native Americans. Like, there's been horrible shit that's been done. We should not cover it up. We should be able to talk about it, and hopefully at some point we can joke about it, make light of it.
Well, it's an interesting conversation just to observe how our own perceptions of comedy or any type of circumstance changes.
This shit is boring me now.
Yeah, put the banner up. Where's the banner?
Conversation.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we're moving on. Will this be the first episode that maybe we don't hang up on anybody?
Really?
You're already queued up, huh?